Team, it's Mr. Z, and we're going to review a critical skill for your future success, the greatest common factor known as the GCF. Go ahead and pause, take a moment to review the key concepts, and make sure when you're done, tell me how you feel. Let's go ahead and dive on in. So we need to find the greatest common factor between two numbers, and these numbers are 2 and 4. So whenever I'm told to find the GCF, I automatically create my t-chart because this is going to represent the two numbers that multiply to be equal to 2 and 4. 1 is a factor of all numbers because 1 times 2 is 2 and 1 times 4 is 4. Now the cool part about this is you want to look at the numbers between 1 and 2. Between 1 and 2, there are no whole numbers, so I know my list is done. The reason being is my next number would be a repeat. I don't need to put the same information twice, so I can just leave it off of my list. Here, look at the numbers between 1 and 4. That means I have to check, does 2 work? Does 3 work? And the answer is 2 is the only one that works. When I do 4 divided by 3, this turns into an answer with a remainder, which means it is not divisible. 3 does not divide 4 evenly. So once I go through the process of writing all of the factors out, I'm going to use a Venn diagram to compare them. So I'm going to draw them around my t-charts, leaving some room in the center. And the GCF of both of these are 1, 2, leading me to say the greatest common factor in the middle of 2 and 4 is 2. Let's do another one. Autopilot. Create my t-charts for 10, create my t-charts for 15. The 1 is a factor of all numbers. That gets me started. Now time to think. 1 times what is 10? 10. 1 times 15 is 15. Now initially, there might be a lot of numbers to choose between. Between 1 and 10, you're going to have to check 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. For 15, you're going to have to check all the numbers between 1 and 15. But let's just go with 2. Does 2 go into 10? Yeah. 2 times 5 is 10. Notice the numbers between 2 and 5 are just now 3 and 4, both that do not go into 10. But I had to check them anyway. Likewise, 15 divided by 2 is not divisible, so 2 is not going to be on my list. 3, however, works and is 5. Notice now, my list goes from a possible numbers between 1 and 15 to possible numbers between 3 and 5. That just leaves, does 4 work? And the answer is no. So now I identify the greatest common factor. The common factors between these are 1 and 5, but the greatest is going to be 5. The GCF of 10 and 15 is 5. The greatest number that multiplies to be each of those. Let's do one more. So for 7 and 14, I automatically draw my t-charts, get this party going. 1 is the first factor of all numbers, and 7 and 14. Now between 1 and 7, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And none of these work. When it's the case, when there's only 2 factors, the number is considered prime. This is going to be a case when there's only just 1 and 7 and 1. That's called prime. I continue with my 14. 2 times 7 is 14. Now I'm responsible for checking 3, 4, 5, and 6. And none of those work. I draw my Venn diagram. What are my common factors? 1 and 7. The GCF, the greatest common factor of 7 and 14 is 7. Hope this helped, team. We're going to be using this in the future.